So with the opening of the Leviathan's dev server, we can now take a look at the new top tier battleships being introduced in the update. And we're going to start off by looking at the new British top tier battleship HMS Vanguard, which is coming in at rank 7, battle rating 8.0, just after HMS Warspite. Now 8.0 sounds like a massive jump in capabilities, and to be fair it is, from HMS Warspite, which is a 7.3 battleship, but this is actually tied with the Italian Roma as the lowest battle rating vessel introduced in this update. All of the other ones are coming in at 8.3 and 8.7, and to be frank, it's because while this is a big upgrade over Warspite, it's not as big an upgrade as the other nations' battleships. For example, the main armament, these 4 twin 15-inch guns, are the same ones as found on HMS Warspite. Now, to be fair, you do get better shells, so you've got your semi-armour piercing shell and the Mark 17B, which is the Warspite's top tier shell, but we also get the Mark 22B, which has a maximum penetration of 631mm to 231mm at 5,000 metres, while having the same explosive content as HMS Warspite's top tier shell. So this is a pretty good increase over the Mark 17B's penetration, but not drastically so compared to some of the other nations' shells. We also have much better secondary weapons, so we've got 8 twin 5.25-inch turrets, which might seem like a bit of a downgrade because of course HMS Warspite had a whole bunch of 6-inch and 4-inch guns, but the 6-inch guns were only good for against enemy vessels and were in sort of not very good places for against aircraft, while the 4-inch guns were obviously a lower caliber and didn't necessarily have access to the best anti-air shells. Whereas Vanguard's secondaries, yeah, the anti-ship weapons aren't necessarily the best, so they're not the worst either, but we do have access to the HEVT shells, so much better for taking down enemy aircraft, and of course because they're in turrets they can be used against aircraft and enemy vessels. Meanwhile, the actual anti-air armament itself is also much improved. For example, the Oerlikons are now gone, which were only very good at very short ranges anyway, and instead we've got a whole bunch of Bofors. So you've got a twin mount right here at the front, you've got 11 40mm single barrel mounts, and then you've got 10 sextuple mounts, so 6 barrel Bofor guns, and we've got 10 of them, so 60 barrels just between those armaments, plus another 11, so 71, then the dual mount, so 73 Bofor barrels all over the ship. So good long range firepower between the 5.25-inch and the 40mm guns. The armour is a bit weird because it actually maxes out at 381mm but towards the rear of the vessel, then it tapers down to 330mm for the centre, and then it goes back to 355 for the front. And you see a similar pattern for the deck, so 152mm for the front and rear, then tapers down to 127mm for the middle. The barbettes are about 330 to 304mm, the turret faces are 330, the roofs 152, and then the sides and rear 177. The bridge is extremely lightly armoured, so that's going to be very easy to take out from enemy high explosive shells. The fire control room is below the decks at least, and then the sort of front and rear armour goes from about 304 to 254mm. And luckily the crew is very much improved over Warspite. It's 31 miles per hour, whereas Warspite is about 23.2 miles per hour, so a massive increase in speeds there, and the crew has now gone to 1,975 from 1,220. So again, massive improvement in survivability from the extra crew. And then going back to the fire control room, we've got 12 fire directors and 3 rangefinders. So the rangefinders aren't particularly good, and they seem to be centred around the main guns, whereas the fire directors are all over the place and have an accuracy of 93%, firing solution calculation time of 15 seconds, and an update time of 8 seconds. And we've got at least 3 radars, so Type 277, the 293, and 960. So yeah, we've got plenty of fire directors and rangefinders, good amount of radar, so you should be able to detect most enemy ships and get a firing solution pretty quickly. And so yeah, Vanguard seems like it's going to be a very good addition for the British tech tree. It's a shame that we skipped the King George V's, so hopefully we'll go back and get them at some point in the future. But yeah, this will struggle a little bit compared to some of the other nations' top tier vessels, but it will still do decently well, especially against some of the lower tier battleships. So anyway, that is HMS Vanguard. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.